18 months. But it is a big one tonight, man. Jerry Jeudy popping off at the mouth. That is a matchup I cannot wait to see.
Right.
You said it earlier, man, and I think you're absolutely right. Spot on, and I'm 100% with you that, all right, you want me to pick between PS2 and Jerry Jeudy? That's easy to make. PS2 all day, every day. I would love for Jerry Jeudy to go back to Cleveland with, 0 catches would be outstanding, but just like a real typical Bronco Jerry Jeudy day, 3 catches, 23 yards, and 2 drops. That's kind of what I'm looking at for Jerry Jeudy tonight.
Yeah, I would love for Jerry Jeudy to not have a catch, but a couple of catches, whatever. Maybe he gets them on Levi Wallace. No Riley Moss tonight.
Right.
We know that. And
How big
Levi
of a deal?
Wallace. What was that?
How big of a deal is that?
Not as big as missing Zach Allen. When they missed Zach Allen, it was completely evident,
Good
and we
point.
all saw it. Zach Allen, just such a key defender for everything that they do up front. Riley Moss is a great corner, and I would say at least a top 15 corner in this league. Pat Surtain's the best. Levi Wallace is, let's say, top 40-ish. Like, it's not sort of a Fabian Moreau move where Broncos fans are like, I don't want Fabian Moreau out there. Well, Levi Wallace is a good player. And, of course, you still have Jaquan McMillan, and he's going to work the slot against probably Elijah Moore. But if we look at this matchup, it is Surtain, it is Jerry Jeudy, which means, sorry, Jerry, you're not getting anything. Now, do they move Surtain to David Njoku like they did on certain downs against Brock Bowers? What Brock Bowers is doing this year is beyond reason. It's just wild to think that a rookie tight end is going to post damn near 120 catches at the end of the year.
He was unreal on Friday against KC.
Yeah, before the refs screwed him out of that. But, are you going to do that with David Njoku? Is that something where on third down, they got to have it? Jameis loves throwing to tight ends. He did at Florida State. He did with the Buccaneers. He did with the New Orleans Saints. He does now. So is that something that you consider? Yeah, maybe. Does that leave Jerry open against Levi Wallace? Yeah, maybe. So I'm not going to say 0 catches for Jerry Jeudy, but I would just love to see that for Jerry's sake because he can't help himself. He can't help himself but to put the Broncos name in his mouth and just have that disrespect. So you're going to have that disrespect before the game? Guess what's going to happen? You're going to get shut down.
Yeah. And I hope he does. Jerry Jeudy was such a waste of a Broncos draft pick. He was the highest wide receiver selected, never accomplished anything besides drama with this. I was happy for him. Well, I don't know how happy you can be for a guy getting shipped off to Cleveland. But, hey, you wanted a new spot. You wanted a new opportunity. You've got it here. And to his credit, he's been pretty good with Jameis over the last few weeks.
Yes,
so,
not with Deshaun, but
no,
with
not
Jameis.
with Deshaun, but with Jameis, he has been pretty good. So you have an opportunity now. But PS2 is just a good cornerback. PS2 shuts down guys like Devontae Adams. He shuts down big-time players. Jerry Jeudy is not that type of player.
In 8 of his games this year, Pat Surtain has allowed 25 yards or less to the receiver he's covering. 25 yards or less. So is that the number for Jerry tonight? 25?
Yeah, that'll be our number for 25.
Okay.
You brought up Njoku's name, and you had the idea of the first Raiders matchup. Why not just put PS2 on Brock from the jump? And then in the second matchup, we heard and saw VJ go to that. Would it be something similar? Do you think Vance has learned his lesson here of no, we want that when it's not on Jerry.
Yeah.
We want that matchup with Njoku, or will it take a couple of plays downfield for VJ to make an adjustment? That's what I'm worried about.
I will ask you a similar question to what I asked Andrew Mason on Orange and Blue today. If I have 3 Browns, I'm going to give you 3 players. Okay. Tell me the one you're okay with letting them kind of have a day. David Njoku, Jerry Jeudy, Nick Chubb. One of those guys. Which one can have a day? Because you can't stop everybody. Yeah. So if you say, hey, we're going to let David Njoku beat us, or hey, we're going to let Nick Chubb beat us, or hey, we're going to dare Jerry Jeudy to beat us, which one of those 3 are you okay letting have a day?
Probably Njoku.
Okay.
The running game with Chubb, that can change everything. And it can change time of possession.
Set up play action passing.
Play action, all the stuff down the field. And then it's just a personal bias because I hate Jerry Jeudy so much.
Okay, that's fine. Sports hate is good.
Yeah.
Sports hate is good. If you got sports hate in your heart, let it out.
That's right.
So, Jerry Jeudy, forget you, buddy.
Yeah.
I hope you get 0 catches tonight.
What would be the right answer if I say Njoku?
Honestly, it's Njoku because if you let Nick Chubb get you, he can. If you let Nick Chubb run wild, he can. Now, he doesn't look quite the same coming back from his devastating knee injury. But let's just say the running game in general, because now if Jameis is running the ball, You're going to have to adjust defensively, move closer to the line of scrimmage. You allow yourself more downfield options. You open up middle seam routes, deep middle seam routes to David Njoku. So to me, it is make sure you take care of Nick Chubb. Make sure you take care of Jerry Jeudy. And yeah, if Njoku gets you, then whatever. Njoku's not going to win you that game. You let Nick Chubb get uncorked, that's going to win him the game.
Right.
So stuff the run. Make sure to stay sound when you're playing against Nick Chubb. When healthy, I believe he's the best running back in all of football. That's pretty high praise considering Jonathan Taylor,
Derrick Henry,
Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, like all that. Like, no. Nick Chubb is talented, special, as Brandon Stokely would say. But make sure you shut him down, and then make sure you take care of Jerry Jeudy. Do that, and Njoku got us. Yeah, whatever. It's 24-3.
Yeah. And it's also, our love with Jameis Winston. Obviously, want to hear the guy talk. I hope he really turns it on with the lights right and it being the prime time game and really give us, this kind of stuff.
Wobble with me, wobble with me, wobble with me.
Or like this.
I just think we were prepared. One thing my trainer, he told me, he said, what did he say? He just told us to be prepared.
I could listen to that all day on a loop. It's outstanding. But Jameis isn't really going to beat you either. Now, he can move the ball up and down the field.
Right.
But I was surprised to find out he only has 7 touchdowns since returning or coming in as the starter for Deshaun Watson getting hurt. So he's the guy that, he can work the field to the 20s, but struggles a little bit finding the back of the end zone. And we know how good this defense is.
Right.
And then amplify that to their red zone defense, which gets even better.
They bend but don't break, and they barely bend.
Exactly.
Imagine that. We're a bend but don't break defense, but we don't really bend. So that's a problem. Plus, Jameis, 1, he's a national treasure.
That's right.
2, he gives you a gift every single week. The blessing is from the Lord. I'm blessed to be here playing football because of the Lord. Thank you, Jameis, for everything that you do. Yeah. Jameis will also give you a gift because of the picks he's going to throw to you.
Yep.
The 30 for 30 Jameis is gone. That doesn't exist anymore. But that, like a Jimmy Garoppolo, he's just going to give you some throws. You got to be ready for that. So I would say if there is a downgrade with Levi Wallace, it's get your head around, man. Get your head around because Riley Moss will get them passes. Riley Moss will get a pick. If Levi Wallace can get his head around, he's going to get the targets. I don't believe Jameis should target Pat Surtain even at all. But he's also playing Delegaff football, so he's going to throw it in places where you don't expect him to throw it. Be ready for that, but also be ready for Jameis to make some boneheaded throw because he does it every single game, and it's on you defensively to take advantage of that by getting those picks. So Jameis is going to give us stuff. Make sure you take it from him.
Can I go off the board for something that worries me?
Sure.
You gave me the Jeudy Chubb Njoku question.
Sure.
You brought it up. Elijah Moore, Jaquan McMillian. You and I were sitting in the press box for the last Broncos home game, and we had texted about it the week before of they're picking on 29.
Yep.
They locate him pre-snap and like the matchup, and that's where the ball tends to go. You said it. Moore versus McMillian. I think that could be a situation where, again, the Broncos are a better team. They should win this football game. Spoiler alert, I'm going to pick them to win the football game, and we'll tell you what the score is a little later on in the show. But that one is something that I think, okay, I got to keep an eye on that. McMillian has been the guy that's been picked on for, let's call it a month at this point, and that one scares me just a little bit because how good PS2 is. Because, Njoku's a good player, but doesn't possess that real big threat. But you get a wide receiver going, you find a mismatch, and there's no adjustments to be made, or at least not made in time. That's one that I think can worry me tonight.
Well, and where are your soft spots defensively? Is Jaquan becoming that? We all just kind of, I'm not saying giving a pass, like a Michael Porter Jr. pass, but we all just kind of don't really talk about it as much. Because, wow, Riley Moss is great, and Pat Surtain's the best in the league. Okay, well, you're going to have to pick somewhere, and you're going to pick on the linebackers in coverage. This is where Njoku comes in. And Elijah Moore is a hell of a player. Don't give me his stats or his lack thereof. He's an explosive player. He also, when healthy, I believe he had a 42-inch vertical. Something stupid.
Way.
Crazy explosive.
Wow.
Crazy explosive player. Okay, so if he's healthy. And Jameis is that guy who's just going to try to find the soft spot. Again, he's going to throw you a couple and make sure you grab them. But I think that if you go to Njoku, it's your auxiliary targets. It's your targets you're not normally thinking of. It's targets not named Jerry Jeudy that you're going to be going to. Again, no Cedric Tillman tonight. So you're down. You're down to, holy cow, they have Jalen Darden. So you're down quite a bit. in terms of receiving talent. That means running backs out of the backfield. There's a wheel route coming. Sorry, I say it every week. It happens every week.
That's right.
Sometimes for touchdowns. And apologies to Jonah Ellis. Jonah's playing good football, but they'll just get him on that wheel route.
I mean, he's not supposed to be as fast as those guys.
Right.
That's how God worked.
Right. You have an edge player against a running back. So watch out for Jerome Ford as a receiver out of the backfield. Watch out for Elijah Moore on Macmillan, and watch out for David Njoku. I think those are three pieces. If you shut down Chubb and you shut down Jerry Jeudy, those are the three auxiliary pieces to watch out for.
Couple things that Sean Payton said over the weekend for his last presser before this game. Now, we talk about it and mentioned it as a Monday Night Football game. It's a big one, 6:15 on ESPN and Denver 7 locally if you don't have the four-letter network. Well, Monday Night Football, it's prime time. It brings a lot of attention and a lot of eyeballs. Sean Payton talked about his team playing on such a big night.
I would say I haven't talked a whole lot about
The most overrated school.
Monday night. I gave Sutton a hard time. There's been a couple telecasts where they didn't know his name or pronounced it wrong. I said, this group will have your name right. So you get the A team, and these are the games you want to play in.
All right, so I like he's giving like ESPN a big shout out that the broadcasters are going to get names right there. And then somebody, you and I both heard that in the background. Someone was clearly talking about Notre Dame, the most overrated school, as they yelled out in the background. I just assume they're talking about Notre Dame there.
Yes.
But I look at this of, all right, Bo Nix, he's a rookie. He's playing on Monday Night Football. Is the moment too big for him? I don't think so. The guy played at Oregon. You don't think he's played in some big football games? He was a freshman playing in SEC football for Auburn. He's played in some pretty big damn football games. Now, maybe the TV attention hasn't been the same. I don't look at this being too big for anybody on the Broncos team.
No, not for Bo Nix, that's for sure. And I think his days of kind of pressing are done.
I do too.
You saw it against Seattle, right? Oh, he's nervous, butterflies, first NFL game. You definitely saw that. There's been, I believe, the Baltimore game. He might have been a little nerved up to play against Lamar Jackson. You saw it in that performance. You haven't seen it since.
Nope.
In any of these games, regardless of what his box score said at the end of the game, Bo Nix is calm. And I think it's that ability to play with a calm heartbeat that makes him so dangerous, because I guess we're obsessed with Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray used to be a cold-blooded assassin.
Yeah.
Bo Nix is a cold-blooded assassin. He's a guy that's like, I don't care what the score is. I don't care what you're supposed to be. I don't care what you think of me. I ain't afraid of nothing. Isn't that what he said?
Yeah.
To Wilson?
Yeah.
I ain't afraid of nothing. Great. Go out there and show up. Monday night, bright light, spotlight, Jameis over there. Yeah, he's not afraid of anything.
I think there is something to that, and this is my speculation. Have I even talked to Bo Nix? I haven't talked to Bo Nix at all since he's been here. I've been sitting in the press conference, but I haven't asked any of the questions yet. But just kind of the competitor and him getting to the point he is, I think there is a part of him that maybe it's just to his wife, or maybe it's just to himself in his head, because I hope we all have those conversations. It's not just me. But, you have those conversations with yourself in your head. And I think there is a little bit of that in Bo, of like tonight or this morning, he's waking up and going, Monday Night Football. All right, I got a chance to show the world what I'm about, who we are, and what we're developing here in Denver. And I think he embraces the heck out of that opportunity.
I think it's what Josh Allen told me years ago at his pro day. He doesn't do it to prove doubters wrong. He does it to prove his supporters right.
Yeah.
And I always thought that was a great kind of view on things, because most people take an apophatic view of like, I got to prove the haters wrong. They doubt me. They don't believe in me. What about the people that do?
I'm just trying to make my pops proud. I've been doing that for 40 years.
Has had a lot of people that believe in him, and he's paying off their belief. So maybe it is to himself, maybe it's to his wife, maybe it's to his family. But he's having those conversations, and he's not afraid of it. And the fire is what Sean Payton loves the most.
Yep.
And when Bo Nix was a jerk to me at the Senior Bowl, I loved it. I absolutely loved it, because I asked him about working from under center, and it was terrible. And he was like, 100% comfortable. Next question. He gave me the next question. I was like, I love it. Yeah. Thank you, Bo. Yeah. Thanks for showing me that fire. You didn't like my question. I'm glad you didn't like my question, because I'm some chucklehead in the media. You shouldn't like anybody's question.
We'll get more of that, Bo, as he gets.
Yes.
It's his team right now.
Yes.
But he doesn't want to say that.
Right.
But once it's fully his team, we'll get more of that, Bo.
Fully, man. And that locker room believes in him, follows him, wants to, just go out there and play all out for their guy.
You talk to yourself, right? Like, help me out here.
I meditate. I
Okay,
meditate
you're talking
every
to yourself
morning.
in those moments.
Yeah. So, and again, social networking, people are like, just, why think about the playoffs with the Broncos? Just enjoy everything. No. This is why you do it. Because you have a goal in mind. And the goal now is the postseason for the Denver Broncos. So I'm not saying avoid it, don't think about it, just enjoy the now. There's nothing wrong with being present. I think most of us need to concentrate on being present. But at the same time, you've put yourself in position to be a playoff team. You bet your ass I'm going to be thinking about the playoffs. And in that locker room, all the guys are admitted. Even Troutman said, if you're not thinking about it, you're lying. Yep. They're all thinking about what's ahead of them without getting ahead of themselves. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, 100%. And I don't think Sean Payton's going to let them get ahead of themselves with something not right in front of them.
Yeah.
One more from Sean here talking about, and again, I don't think this is any reason to worry about because who the coach is and what this team's leadership group looks like. But Sean was asked if there's any worry. Hey, you got this game, then you have a bye week coming up. Any worry on focus?
This is as late as I think this is the last bye weekend coming up, but I know I spent a lot of time on how we played after the bye. That would be a good study to see how we played historically prior to, but.
So he's talking about, no, there is no worry, concern that anybody's overlooking a Browns team because they got vacation plans. And once again, that's not what this team is able to do. They're still working themselves out of a rebuild. Now, they have accelerated the timeline because of who Bo Nix is, but I don't think there's any chance anybody's, I got Cabo plans or hitting Cancun or wherever they may be going. I'm going back to Florida for the weekend. No, that's not what this team's about.
That's not the culture that Sean Payton has built.
Right.
The culture is in place. It's followed up by Bo Nix, Quinn Miners, Jonathan Cooper, Pat Surtain, Mike McGlinchey, all the leaders on your team. Those guys are totally bought into the culture, just like we're bought into our YouTube audience. Hi, YouTube.
What up, YouTubers?
In case you're watching us on YouTube, like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you never miss a vid, because we are here for you.
Every single day. Every single day.
You know what Mike Evans did this morning?